Hello, everyone. Whew, caught me off guard a little bit. Hello, welcome to the losers final here at the Gundam Evolution Breakout Series Event number 2. We have IQ versus Last Second ready to go to see who is going to be facing Mafty. Did nothing wrong in the grand final. My name is Cameron Davis, and I am joined by Wonder Chef. And listen, this is going to be a big one, Chef. This is going to be a really, really big one.
This is really similar to what we saw in the last event, but of course, like I said, the roster very different. And I think I need to clarify, right? We talk about Last Second as somewhat an amalgamation of what Team Tekka Dynasty was, but technically it's a lot of players that even though they were Team Tekka Dynasty players, they're not anymore. So it's a little bit confusing. However, the situation is the same, right? In our previous tournament, we had Mafty sitting at the top undefeated, having defeated both of the teams that are sitting in losers finals, and that's how we're seeing it again today. However, this time around, IQ, of course, made it all the way through the winners bracket, knocked down into losers in the very final match. In the other direction, Last Second has had to play the maximum number of matches in the bracket, losing in the second round to Team Mafty, and then playing the maximum number of losers bracket matches.
Yeah, and the thing is, between IQ and Last Second, I think it's going to be really, really hard to figure out who is kind of the favorite coming into this, because so far, the only maps that either of these teams have lost has been against Mafty. So this really could go either way.
Yeah, and I know that's such a classic thing to say, but I really truly feel like this is going to be one of our closest matches of the entire tournament, which we have had a lot of 2-0s. That is kind of a classic thing at this point in Gundam Evolution tournaments, but I really feel like this is going to be a close one. Of course, it is going to be 2 out of 3 until we get to grand finals, which will then be 3 out of 5, but they have to earn that spot, and we are going to see what they picked, what they banned. First, bans coming out from really opposite directions here with the Underground Command Center and then the Colony Trading Post, but it does look like that we're going to go back to Quarry and Flak Fort, which are some pretty common picks.
Yeah, and then the third map, Mountain R&D Center. I don't think we've seen that yet on broadcast.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't think we've seen it yet at all. We've also never seen a map 3. So one of these is going to be I guess it'll be broken at some point. Who knows?
Right. Yeah, it has been the deciding map for a few of our series this weekend, but never has it gone the distance. So I would like to see it, and I think, again, this is probably the one that if we are going to see it, it will be this particular set. But starting off with Quarry, again, one of the more commonly picked ones this tournament, and then Flak Fort, which was strangely almost not played at all over the past day. However, we're seeing it now 2 sets in a row.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm excited. There's really nothing more I think that needs to be said about this. It's all gonna lie up to who can just get those team comp pushes more successfully, right? Like we can see, and I think it's hard to say, hey, you should play like this other team, because you can only play as good as you are. But looking at Mafty, what makes them so strong is just the fact that the coordination is at a level that you never see from anyone else. From IQ and Last Second, from all the times that we've seen them like really, really dominate, it was a lot easier to identify particularly the damage coming out from their main carries. But I wonder if that means that the team coordination is at a level lower than Mafty, and that's sort of like where they would next want to look to level up their game in order to have as strong of a showing.
It seems to me like Mafty just also has the game plan down in every situation. There's zero hesitation, no matter what the spot of which map, of which, attacking or defending, which side they're on. They just always know exactly what they want to do. And I'm assuming that there's not a whole lot of muddiness in their comms when it comes to that. They just know exactly where they should be, what they should be doing when the aggressiveness needs to go on. And that's why they basically have, like you said, they've basically made no mistakes, aka Team Mafty has done nothing wrong.
Has done nothing. Okay, but anyway, let's really refocus on IQ and Last Second on this. It's Mafty is there like the god in the sky, right? That everyone tries to like achieve to become. But at the moment, IQ and Last Second, they are definitely the teams that are the closest to achieving that greatness. And when you look at the individual players on both of these teams, it's really easy. Maybe this is just my bias being a DPS player in this game, but I immediately look towards, on the side of IQ, X-Minute and Amano. And then on the side of Last Second, you have Red Protocol and Batty as like the two main range DPS there. Sure, you have the tip of the spear illusion that I use with Chaotic and Gasman as their respective melee units. But really, it's just going to be, can you get the Pale Rider into a position to unload a bunch of damage, and can your Ashamar find the angles to follow up with even more?
It's going to be tough just based on the fact that you mentioned that they have such strong mid-range DPS, which can be the option to shut down those melee trying to get in. But this, I think as far as teams go, they're pretty balanced comps on both sides. We are seeing, we're seeing off the bat on offense, we see the highlighted gun tank. I'm not expecting that we're actually going to see that, although we did see that a little bit earlier.
Yeah, we did. We saw a gun tank map number 1 on this very map yesterday. So maybe some meta evolution is coming into play here.
You know, I would love to see it. Always, of course, a big gun tank fan, but yeah, this is more what I expected. We are going to have, this is actually a classic match that we saw of the Barbados mirror, Gasman versus Chaotic, and actually we saw it on this map as well last broadcast. This is usually really, really good to see these two particular Barbados players clash.
So Last Second now pushing in, waiting to push through that initial choke point. Will they be prepared? You can see the two Barbies there up on the high ground fighting each other out. It's going to be Gasman with the advantage on this one, and he's going to use that opportunity to push in, try and isolate the Sazabi. Can't quite get the stun forced away, but you can see, ooh, the initial IQ Sazabi with a couple of kills, but then his blue in the kill feed. Gasman's continuing to push on in. It's a lot of space being cleared right now.
Oh, Gasman putting in so much work. This is a map that is, I would say, pretty famously good for Barbados, just with how the walls work, how the verticality of some of the other points work, and Gasman really showing exactly why as they get nearly a full team wipe to get that first waypoint, and it looks like A may be the go-to for team Last Second.
I imagine because they got so many units destroyed on the side of IQ in very quick succession that they assumed that an opening would be on the big open site. However, it looks like the defense is here to keep that plan from happening. And because of the respawns, because of this reset that we're seeing, Last Second might need to change their plan and instead focus on the tried and true approach onto B.
Well, right now, I think they need to worry about defending this waypoint. There's a really aggressive counter push here from the defense, trying to retake this. That really delays their game plan by so much if it actually works, but in this case, it actually just staggered Saris a little bit. However, the punch coming out, ooh, that was huge.
That was very, very ambitious. Does get a knock onto iRobot, but that's going to be revived. Mr. Big Large does go down. It's the current 6 versus 5 advantage, and it looks like, no, I was wrong. Last second, they just really want to plant on A.
Well, they did get the 2 picks, which is nice. That's now the second punch that we've seen that was just been the juiciest punch that led to nothing because there's nobody else around. That's the curse of this tournament. But they have got the plant down on A. Now, this is an infamously very difficult spot to get the disarm on because the sidelines are so huge, but I love this battle below it currently.
Merle with 2 kills there coming out the Dom Trooper on the side of Last Second, but it is going to be favorable trades here for IQ. They can't get onto the disarm because of Merle. That splash damage is absolutely huge, but the disarm does go through in the end. Merle is forced to back away. He has the Screaming Nimbus at the ready, but with no teammates around him, it would just be a waste. So at the moment, he's just trying to survive, stay alive, but if he does have to die in the end, well, they can just reset. There's enough time, but no, the Screaming Nimbus was called in. Can the rest of Last Second follow up?
Ooh, that's so painful to die in the middle of that, although we're going to see another duel here. All right, in the middle of this area is one of the best places to be at Barbados. There's such tiny little hallways, but it looks like Gasman actually is just going to retreat and try to reset with the team, which I think is a really smart choice. We see a lot of overcommitting melees, even from a lot of really strong teams, so being able to play with your team, play safe, is a very good trait to have.
Under a minute and a half left. This Dom Trooper is being isolated, being taken out as well. So Invictus perhaps pushed a little too far forward by themselves. Mr. Big Large as well getting taken out. So advantage in units for Last Second. They need to get the plant. We have a minute left. Amanda here with the Hades at the ready, though, is ready to rain Hellfire back onto the opposition. Knocks body blocks, but Chaotic with a huge slam to get multiple knocks, followed up by a Screaming Nimbus to keep the Mega Charge from getting armed.
That is such a... Anytime that you can get a double with the slam on Barb, it is just one of the best feelings in the world. But this hold has been working so well. There's a lot of opportunities for Last Second to get the plants, but they're just so short of being able to get the plant and then get a defensive position to hold it. And right now, Merle, once again, is kind of forward as far as the rest of the team. Needs some backup here, probably, but they only have 30 seconds left to plant.
Our robot is there with the healing on the energy cables, but Nox is pushing up, trying to zone with the big unit of the Sazabi. And this might have actually been a little bit of a bait, faking towards A, but instead planting on B. It's activated, but any defuse that comes in now is going to be the end of the round. So Last Second need to defend this. Blue Jay with the Beam Magnum is going to try and zone, and then the funnel's coming out, but it's getting shut down. Everyone's getting shut down, actually. It's very few units remaining on either side. Amato's trying to come in with the Pale Rider, trying to deal all the damage.
Oh, wow, actually managed to get back up to the second floor. And there's an attempt here to disarm, but the butterfly is going to be above. There's no way to avoid it. They didn't manage to get any knocks, but at the very minimum, it delayed the disarm for a while. Hopefully some teammates can get back. And Nostalgia just sitting here, unable to die, until the G maneuver from the Barbados, which is only going to get one down.
10 seconds left. Can the disarm come in time? The respawns are all here. And now Mr. Big Large goes down. Oh, they can't get on it. 3 seconds left. They have to stick, but the spacing is there. The freeze is there. And the first target has been destroyed just in time. Last Second. Well, living up to their namesake.
Hey, you know, if you name yourself that, you got to play by your own rules. But we'll see if they can maybe get the arm a little bit faster than Last Second this time, because that was extremely close. That was a brawl all the way down to the end. But this is, again, a very different point as expected for most of the destruction missions. They are going to immediately, try to get the waypoint, get baited a little bit by Mr. Big Large, once again, winning the Ashmar to Ashmar duel.
Mr. Big Large is doing a lot of work there, a little bit on the flank, a little bit on a sneaky little assassin character, but now Gasman continues trying to push him with the Barbatos, using the health pack to stay alive, not trying to get isolated himself down to 344 HP. The plant is being attempted here on the lower side, but Gasman tries to stall, it does get taken out.
Oh, yeah, that AoE damage from the Dom in that little area right there is always going to be huge. You can see Merle getting a few knocks, but, the entire kill feed turns red. That's going to be almost an entire team wipe here. Gasman, once again, the only one with that extra little bit of movement just to be able to stay alive. Or maybe he was actually already running back, but regardless, full reset. And it looks like it might have to be another Last Second plan with only a minute left, and now a stagger onto Gasman.
Yeah, Gasman taken out, and the teams are just a bit too far behind to try and follow up on the space that he was trying to create. And so they got to wait for his respawn to even things up. Mr. Big Large with a punch onto our robot. Merle is there for his own response, but it's still, again, red in the kill feed. IQ are holding strong. They're not letting Last Second get anywhere near the site for the Mega Charge plant.
IQ also has two of the strongest G maneuvers as far as holding a site with the Hades and the Screaming Nimbus. And on the side of Last Second, they have literally nothing. Literally no G maneuvers. This is going to be one of the most difficult pushes. And oh my gosh, there it is. That's going to chunk a ton of the team. Actually, Merle picked it up. Oh, I did not even realize. It must have been a visual bug, but Merle actually had the Screaming Nimbus. Yeah,
Nox as well used his funnels to try and clear this space with the 2 G maneuvers. There's not a lot of time for them to go on in, but they do get the Mega Charge activated. There's a little bit of blue in the kill feed as well. Chaotic goes down. Saris and Mr. Big Large, only 2 members up, but as you said, Invictus is respawned on the Dom Trooper for the side of IQ. Screaming Nimbus at the ready. Blue Jays Beam Magnum also available, and here comes the Screaming Nimbus pushing on in, trying to push everyone out of the way, disrupting the hold.
Oh yeah, so many G maneuvers actually now being popped. You can see the Hades, but that is going to be the disarm. That will not be a Last Second plant that is successful. They finally managed to get it. It seems like the skirmish happened a little bit too far away from the actual bomb site there at the end. Somebody was able to sneakily discharge while all the G maneuvers were going off. But hey, at least you get to the second point. At least you get a little bit on that second point. So if they can just stop the plant from getting at all, any sort of progress, then we can still see a defensive win here.
These are some really big numbers coming out to some of the players. Mr. Big Large and Red Protocol as the two Ashmars, of course, really racking up those damage numbers. But I'm not surprised, I suppose, because this really is just what Quarry seems to be. But I like to see the Dom Trooper at the top as well, with Merle and Invictus also having large damage numbers. The one big thing that I'm seeing that's kind of favoring IQ at the moment is that their mid-range carry, Amano, is out DPSing Nostalgia on last second.
Amano is just, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm a big fan of Amano, I think, from especially the last broadcast, but I just constantly say a lot of good stuff about them. They are a great gym sniper and, of course, the Pale Rider. Oh, I love this. So this is a strategy that we saw yesterday just to build a lot of that G maneuver charge, get a little bit of extra damage, especially when you combine it with something like, oh, well, I actually don't have a Flame Grenade. We actually see the new Gundam coming out from Red Protocol right now. That is an interesting pick, and we know that it's for sure because they're on the defense.
Yeah, and we've seen the new Gundam before, but that was mostly utilized with the fin barrier for a push. But they're on the defense with it, so I'm really curious to see how they're going to be utilizing, if they're picking it for the G maneuver or for any other reason. But now the initial push does come on in. 6% ult charge for Moral because of those mines.
Yeah, I mean, just getting that ult faster, the G maneuver faster is so good. And you can see Chaotic is hiding back here behind this wall, ready to jump over, ready to potentially get a pick as soon as the positioning is correct. Sitting behind this box is just a classic defensive position, but Gasman does go down, and that means that it's time for Chaotic to push in. And look at this, the entirety of Team Last Second has actually already been pushed back to B.
Yeah, they lost Gasman to Chaotic in that initial Barbie fight, and they're just going to give up the waypoint. They're not going to try and get staggered. They're not going to try and have uncoordinated respawns. Ooh, but Chaotic's continuing to push on in. He's going to get eliminated. This could be some space for Last Second to try and answer back with positioning of their own and not allow the plant to come on in. But, ooh, Barbie trying to make an opening. Doesn't die, but doesn't get a kill either. But Nox is going to be trying to follow up on that damage.
This could be a really strong counter push here, but both sides pretty weak as far as health goes. Yeah, you see Nox having to back up, get a little bit of health back from the health pack, and just rotate over to A. It does seem like, once again, there's a little bit of a split push. Mr. Big Large, of course, going to be flying around in that vertical space, trying to sneak some things, but going down to the funnels from Red Protocol.
3 minutes remaining.
Red Protocol and Nostalgia all getting a couple of kills. Blue Jays answering back on the Unicorn Gundam, but our robot... Listen, it's a fight of the heals. Fight of the healing units. But yeah, there's just a lot of blue in the kill feed. IQ is not able to make any headway, not really able to find any opening. Robot has the energy cables at the ready. Wonder who they're going to try and combo that with. But at the moment, it's just time to wait.
Yeah, that is actually really curious who they will combo it with. This is not a particularly great spot unless you manage to plant on A to use that butterfly. Plus, it's only at 50%. You don't really want to hold on to it forever. And the only other G maneuver they have is a defensive G maneuver. It does do a little bit of damage, but they're in a weird spot as far as that goes. They're just going to have to expect somebody to aim really well. Maybe just nostalgia. It's hard to say.
It could be Nox on the Sazabi with the funnel. They're not that far from their own G maneuver, but another fight's coming on in. IQ is still trying to find these openings. A good dodge using the bazooka on Red Protocol to avoid the longsword of the Barbatos. And oh, but Amano is coming up huge right now on the Pale Rider. We called him out yesterday, we called him out today, and he is making it work once again. Always be ready for Amano to deal the damage necessary to get the round victory. Can they hold on to the Mega Charge site? That's the big question.
Oh, well, okay, you know what? That is one way to try to take things back. Merle with the Screaming Nimbus, and then, of course, the follow-up. That is going to be a few downs, but all using this defensively to disarm. That's so cool. That's so smart. And they fully get the disarm with the new Gundam G maneuver. That is sick.
Yeah, and they even follow up after that to clear out the entirety of IQ, so they not even a moment to attempt for a second rearm. They're going to have to regroup outside and make another attempt. There's only a minute left. Fortunately, can Red Protocol get the fin funnel barrier charged up in time? Already at 20%, so it's possible, but the funnel is coming in from Saris to try and retake that space.
And the only one close to G move here is Gasman, but Gasman's going down before even getting a chance to use it. Looks like this may have actually been activated, but oh, this is going to be tough. Only 40 seconds left now on the side of IQ. They do have a few picks, but they're just not fully in control of this spot. They're going to get another pick. This is their last opportunity here. I don't know if anybody's hanging out in the second level, but Chaotic will be jumping up, trying to defend that, though there are just too many people respawning and running back. 20 seconds left, and the yeet! Oh, not quite to the high level. Very unfortunate. Nostalgia living with basically 1 HP.
The plant must be going down.
I think
the time. Okay, the timer was broken. It's okay. We're back onto this. There is very little time, and Invictus is even going to come on in, trying to clear the space, and the Mega Charge has been planted on B just in time. But can they hold it? No, it's on A. It's on A. That was a big distraction. Invictus tried to just clear everyone out. Everything is going upside. Everything is going topsy-turvy. No one knows where anything is.
This feels like very much exactly what happened in the last game. It's just brawls on both sides, weird plants on both sides, but this time it's going to be a decent defensive position for IQ, as most of them have run back, and now they're going to have to fight against Last Second, sitting on that high ground, but they're already at 50% of this charge.
Good hold there. Merle pushing forward on the Dom Trooper, zoning everyone away. Those rockets. Amano trying to go up huge. Activated the Hades, but not a lot of angles being presented, ignoring the Sazabi because that's not the main unit. But Sazabi wants the fight. Nox wants the fight, trying to isolate Amano. 5 seconds left. Someone needs to try and stick the defuse. And Amano's not going to let that happen. In fact, everyone is already retreating because of the chance of them defusing that in time was so low. They're just going to position themselves and ready to defend point number 2.
Are we just watching a replay of the first round of this map? No, it's the exact same thing. But now this is actually a really great spot for IQ. Last Second, didn't really get that much on the, I want to say it was like 3% or something as far as their plan, 5%. So really IQ doesn't need to get that far to be able to take this. Oh, it actually went up to about 40%. That went way further than I thought, but still, it's not a ton.
Yeah, it's not a lot. He's got to hit about halfway, and they'll be good to go. Chaotic's trying to come on in. Hits a lot with the long story. Tries to follow with a slam. Does get a kill on to Merle, but has to fall away. Cannot overcommit onto that.
Ooh, and with the waypoint taken so quickly, this is a really tough defensive position now for Last Second. They've got some nice angles, but there are already so many members of Team IQ on that high ground that they might just be able to get the plant. And look at that, Gasman going down. Mr. Big Large is the only one with a G mover on the side of IQ. This actually could be really tough.
Mega Charge gets armed. Merle swings on in with the Screaming Nimbus to just get that Sazabi taken out of commission. Big Large used the punch. Has to fall away, can't commit too heavily. Got a couple of kills off of it though, but Last Second are answering back with even more kills of their own. Red Protocol used their Fin Funnel Barrier as well to finish that push. And now they're gonna have to reset because the Mega Charge has been disarmed.
This has been some really great new Gundam play. I think we can pretty much say this is the best new Gundam play that we've seen throughout the entirety of the Breakout series so far. I'm super pumped to see it. And you can see now just holding this high ground, not allowing any sort of push in through either of the main directions that they want to go. Gasman is going to be able to get away. It's been the slipperiness of actually both these Barbadoses that have been working really well.
Yeah, Gasman, he's got 1 kill, backs away. The whole point is to not to try and team wipe, but to just try and keep them staggered and unable to front a full assault. But the trades are there, the backup is there. They're able to take out Gasman, remove him from commission for a little bit. Let's see if they can follow up even more. A couple of G maneuvers being activated. We got the Hades, we got the Fin, we got the Moonbeam Butterfly as well. But Amano says no to that, drops the bug out of the air. And now the Mega Charge has been planted on the lower site.
Oh yeah, great stuff from Amano, being able to get that correct angle. Definitely, threw on the SNES and played some Duck Hunt to be ready for that one. But now they've got the perfect position here, and they only need about 20% more on this time. This needs to be an immediate push. There is zero chance here for the defense. Oh, but there's so many players going down on the side of IQ. Only 3 of them left. They just need to defend it for a few more seconds, and that will be enough as they take it, barely out timing the amount of time on that Mega Charge and technically taking it 2-0.
Yeah, the final Screaming Nimbus to give them the space to not allow anyone to disarm that Mega Charge, and it is going to be IQ there with the victory, taking map number 1.
Yeah, and you saw Mono there as the MVP. That's no real surprise to me. I don't know. I just constantly I'm talking Mono, but like it's proven to be correct, right? I mean, okay, everybody on both these teams is great, but Amano has just constantly shown us the 6 shots, the game making plays for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what I really like about that map in particular is that you started to see the melee units be incredibly effective. Oftentimes, I think melee units can be a bit misjudged because they die a lot, but that's because they're there not necessarily to get kills, but to try and just create space for the rest of the team to follow up and get the kills after that. But it's a very thin line that melee units have to ride in order to not overextend and not give their life away for no benefit of their team. You saw it from both of the Barbatos in that round that they were able to try and stay alive, Gasman and Chaotic, but also just get a pick or two, but then back away. And I think on that particular map, Barbatos was very effective for both squads.
We've seen it quite a few times, just how strong it can be on that map, in particular, both on offense and defense. But we are going to be moving, of course, now on to the second map. Before we do that, we are going to be going to a short break, so don't go anywhere, because when we get back, there's a chance that we will be seeing who will make it to the grand finals.
Welcome back, everyone. We were here at map number 2 in the losers finals between IQ and Last Second. IQ took map number 1 in very, very exciting fashion. Are we gonna see another 2-0 clean sweep, or is Flakfort going to be Last Second's opportunity to mount a comeback and try and face Mafty in the grand finals?
Hey, I am completely unbiased here. I want to see a game 3. I think these two teams are so close to each other. I mean, we saw literally last second plans from both sides, not just Last Second, to be able to get past that first point in the last game. And we saw just very barely either side either managing to make it or not. There's the gun tank woos. Let's go. Can we get some gun tank woos in chat? That's 3 of them.
Chat, everyone.
4 of them. Let's go. All right, first team to get all 6 is I don't know.
5.
They're going to. Oh, they have 5. They're 1 away.
They have 5, yeah.
Who on your team?
Finish the pyramid.
Yeah, whichever team doesn't have it, or person on the team gets kicked off. That's the rule. There's no getting around it. But you know what? The 6th one is the actual golden gun tank, so I appreciate that. Shout outs to them. They got to switch to right. Are we actually going to see it? No, it's got to be.
It's a golden gun tank. You got to play golden gun tank.
Oh, well, you know what? I still truly appreciate it. But here we go. It is going to be Last Second on the offense here on Flakfort. Of course, this first point usually doesn't really get, I guess you don't get checked too much running up. But once you get to this door, that's when the battle begins.
Yeah, it's all close range. It's all a boxing brawl. They're not even putting on the gloves. It's going to be that deadly. Nox pushing in. Chaotic with the first kill onto Murrow. That could be huge for an opening. For the defense, at least in Chaotic, he just needs to get disrupted. He's going to swing around the side and just make sure that no one can push on in. We saw a few robo feet touch the point, but nothing really going to stick.
Yeah, this high ground positioning is really, really strong with Amano and Blue Jay just sitting up here, and Mr. Big Large as well. All of their mid-range units in a spot that is so hard to actually get a full kill on, with the Unicorn in particular being able to cover any sort of damage that they do get. So they can play very, very safe. Also the healing that the Pale Rider can bring out. I love that positioning.
Fastman trying to sneak around the side, spots the Sazumi, goes for a stun and a knock, but can't quite get the kill. In fact, gets zoned out and beamed down by Mr. Big Large, who's coming on in and just doing a lot of work. This is Ashimar's map. Mr. Big Large is reminding us of that fact.
Oh, Mr. Big Large has been a big MVP in a lot of their games so far, but wow, that is basically a full team wipe. That is going to be a full reset. And again, their positioning in here is huge. That can be so hard to push through. When we've seen the really strong teams defend on Flakfort, it has been a complete wall. Just being able to hit from a bunch of different high ground angles at the same time, it is not an easy thing to be able to push through.
I'm waiting for Red Protocol to use Ashmore, try and swing around and find a separate angle, even for a distraction, but already taken down to 10% HP. Gonna take some time to heal back up. They can't even get a push in on the side of Last Second. Saris drops Gasman, so that's going to be the other flanker that you'd want to really utilize to create an opening removed.
Oh, the aggressive push out. Actually, he'll take quite a bit of damage, Saris is, from the back and flanked right there, but just making sure that Nox goes down and that there's, again, a little bit more of a delay. Oh, wow, just holding this high angle. This is actually a great spot for Chaotic. I like either up here. Oh, the duel. Oh, the duel where everybody's just going to whiff. Nobody actually won that one.
So Big Large suddenly, like all Ashimars are, behind enemy lines, is going to get revived. And now Barbie's going huge here on the ramp, does get taken out and fully removed. This could be the open they need, but the Screaming Nimbus, that's actually the punch being answered, but the kills are finally going Last Second's way, but the trades are also there. Chaotic getting some stuns of the zone, and of course, Amano. When everything else fails, you can count on Amano.
Oh, yeah, Red Protocol trying to get away. Amano just cleaning up completely. And, you know, when we've seen this map before, again, this was one of the most common maps before Season 2, I would say. It really came down to the Pale Rider play on both sides a lot. And when it comes to Pale Rider, once again, can't stop talking about Amano.
Nostalgia here on the turn A. Catch Mr. Big Large being a bit of a nuisance. But we're still waiting for the big opportunity for the open push. Merle is taken down, forced away. Nostalgia also very, very low. Big Large continuing to go large. Invictus with the Screaming Nimbus. Such little time on the clock. Any disruption of push is going to come up huge. And that team maneuver is a good way to do just that. iRobot's also taken out. It's all falling apart. We do have a bit of charge coming on in as Last Second have members onto the site itself. Are IQ just going to give this one up?
Oh, yeah, Mono and Invictus and Mr. Big Large are still all here. They are so close to taking it, but it looks like almost everybody's been pushed off the point. Red Protocol can't even fly away because that will end the extra time. I don't know if any players are close enough. Nostalgia is going to get the overhead grab, and there are going to be a few players now coming back from Last Second, but this is going to be a brawl. Nobody on either side is going to have either of their full team members. Oh, and here we go. The Butterfly is available just in case they weren't able to get that push. I think that could have been a great way to close it out, but great stuff on the side of Last Second, who once again lives up to their name.
I know, down to the last second. I didn't even think it was going to happen, but the constant staggering of respawns favored the attackers because their spawn was closer to the site itself, but can they push through an even harder wall? Big Large is taken out. Nostalgia doing some work with the laser rifle, and they want to push forward. Moonbeam Butterfly was used to mid-level effect, we should say, but Sarah's being taken out. Nostalgia with the damage, with the follow from the team. They're able to finally get some positioning on this high ground. We rarely see this from the attackers because of how difficult that initial snake area is to push through. But can they get onto the site itself? They only have just over a minute to do so.
Oh, and Chaotic is going to get the jump on Nox quite literally. Nox will be going down to the damage of Invictus, and that means it's going to be a tough push here. Even though they've got a lot of people in great position, the counter push on the side of IQ is going to be very successful. Pretty much everybody going down. There are only a few people, Nox included, that were not in that sort of high ground area, so Nox and Chaotic are going to have to back up, try not to get staggered.
Chaotic's going to jump over, get a stun. It's just about eating up time right now. Last Second, they need to balance, like falling away, not losing any more players, waiting for their own respawns, but then not giving up so much space that it's going to be impossible to push through. 30 seconds left. Saris is taken out. Red Protocol, of course, is getting kills. iRobot there in the sky is also going to get almost taken out by Armano. He has activated the Hades. He's going to be going in with the shots, with the spray. And no one's getting close to the site. I don't know if it's going to happen. It's going to have to be something huge coming out. Mr. Big Large, he might be what is needed.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the final chances here. The Screaming Nimbus from Invictus is going to get a pretty good amount of mileage as well. And then we've got a Mono sitting once again on that high ground. The positioning is very strong for the defense here. In fact, that will be the decider. Once you've got everybody on that high ground, it's so hard to push in. And Last Second was not able to get the last second on both of the points.
They got one, though, but not a single percentage on point number 2, objective number 2, and now we are swapping sides. Could be IQ's turn to push.
I think Last Second needs to change their name to First Push so that they just win on the first push every single time, right? Just curse yourself in a good way. But as expected, we are seeing just massive damage coming out of both of the Ashmars. But Amano, I'm sorry, broken record here. That is disgusting.
That's amazing numbers. Mr. Big Large not that far behind. We're seeing good damage numbers, of course, from Red Protocol, as expected on the side of Last Second. Merle as well. Nostalgia is getting up there, but that's still just where the main gap is looking as far as damage is concerned, is in that mid-range carry.
And of course, for anybody not as familiar, we do see the Barbadoses get less just damage numbers because they usually go for the one-shot picks. So we don't see them getting a lot of like just random little hits here and there. Yeah. If so, that's just a weird situation. And you expect them to be low damage, but their impact is not any lower than, it actually should be.
Yeah, damage is a useful tool to look at impact of specifically the ranged carries. For melee, you have to have a better eye of the game to be able, with the eye test, to really see, are they making the space? Is the timing there with the follow with the team? It's a lot more about coordinating with your team for the effectiveness of a melee unit.
All right, but here we go. The push now is going to come from IQ. I once again don't expect too much of a challenge on this bridge. Usually the top teams just let players run up to the building for free. They don't want to give the opportunity to get picked, especially with this being such a great gym sniper angle. But it's mostly respect for respect here. They say, oh, you know what, the brawl's going to be inside.
The trade's just not particularly useful because, again, the attacker spawn is so much closer. So any 50-50 is EV percentage favoring the attackers here. But now that they're inside, the attackers, it's really hard for them to try and find the angle to find that opening pick that they need. Sarah's doing a good job. Gonna be the Ashimars, of course, taken out, unsurprisingly. Last second, get a couple of kills here. Gasman trying to go big. Saris with a very good stun. Little micro stun there with the energy Heat Hawk.
But not even enough to fully take down Chaotic, or I'm sorry, take down Gasman. Too many Barbados in this level. But yeah, just having that extra HP makes it a pretty tough target to take out unless you fully focus it down. And so far, this has been weird. This has been a really far back hold on the side of Last Second, and we've seen a lot of IQ kind of push in slightly, but nobody's pushing for the actual point.
Mono did get a drop on the Gasman, it looks like, and Blue Jay's going big from the high ground. It is a healing unit, but it's a healing unit that has really good DPS range capabilities. And so he's going to be trying to zone Last Second away, but instead, I mean, Last Second are falling back, but they're still on the site, even if they're on the low ground.
Oh, and this is a great angle for Blue Jay, being able to just chunk into their entire team in that doorway, just having so much ammo in that gun. And this is probably going to secure, at least 50% is what I was going to say, but this is a really good counter push. Chaotic is going to be able to clean up a few of those players that just try to get back onto point. And Amano, of course, holding that high ground as usual. Mural going down. Looks like a pretty solid hold.
Yeah, with Gasman taken out and then with the tank and Nox removed, very difficult for IQ to try, very difficult for Last Second to try and push back into IQ, so instead they're just going to back away, they're going to reset. But now IQ, they only need to get that first tick, as you can see, and they have 2 minutes added to the clock, just over 3.5 ready to go.
They can take their time. They are stocked up on 1 G maneuver only, almost 2, so I would expect that we might see a few small pushes to just try to build up everything that they have. Of course, Amano now being able to build up that Hades. It's going to be one of the scariest things if they can get into that high ground on the point, but all the punches being used and the Hades being used, everything all in a row, trying to take out the butterfly, but it's not going to work. Amazing from Nostalgia. The counter defensive butterfly, we've seen it on this map before. It works so well.
Yeah, I was going to comment on Last Second had a lot of G maneuvers of their own to utilize, and I think IQ would have favored them to try and bait those out, get them to be used, and then push in with G maneuvers of their own. But so far, it's only Nostalgia that have used theirs, and Last Second, you can see all the ones that aren't charged up, most of them are getting really, really close to being charged.
I feel like the resources there just went so heavily in the favor of Last Second, and so much of that is just because of Nostalgia, so really good stuff. I think that's going to be the delay, too, that's going to really even things up here, because 3.5 minutes is so long if you can get a solid first push. But again, they're in the chokehold.
Screaming Nimbus trying to create some space to push on in. He's actually going to get onto the site itself. Up close, Stormtrooper, rocket launchers. Where's the backup? Where's the follow-up? Nox is also removed. Saris is there. But Gasman trying to answer back with the Alia system. Can't go for the revive, unfortunately. But they're able to clear the space, going for another 1v1 fight.
Oh, that's a tough 1v1 for anybody with a shield, though. But if you move like this, Nox is managing to get away quite well. You can only escape for so long, though. That was a really, really nice push from Invictus using the Screaming Nimbus, but overall the defense was just too strong from Gasman.
And the defense was also there because on the flip side, the defensive spawn is not that far away from this site. Blue Jay pushing on in. This is the Beam Magnum at the ready, trying to find the angles to do some massive damage. But instead, it's going to be that fire onto the high ground from Red Protocol is going to disrupt this push momentarily, but the damage is still coming their way. Last Second are still getting the kills. Invictus and Saris both dropped for IQ, and now Nox is pushing forward to zone even further. They need to go into the site to start charging up the point.
Oh, Gasman jumps up and then gets the 1v1 against the Chaotic. Or actually, I think maybe Chaotic jumped up. One of the two, they get the down. I love seeing those Barbados duels, but it does look like IQ is going to have to back up. They've got 1 minute left, and they're only going to have probably 1 G maneuver, maybe a mono getting it back in time for one final push. But on the other side, we're going to have 3 or even 4, so this is going to be tough to make it happen.
IQ are getting close to the entryway, but Last Second are intelligently so backing away. Chaotic jumps into the air, activates the Alia system, is staying alive, and this could be the space required with, even though there weren't that many kills to go along with it, the follow-up from IQ, this could be exactly what they need. It has to be what they need because time is running out.
Oh, and the Screaming Nimbus as well. In fact, I think it's an energy-cabled Screaming Nimbus just for extra damage. Just do whatever you can do to clear everybody off of this point. You can't let them get a single tick, and it seems like it's working. We see Invictus now finally going down. That is going to be most of the members on the offense. Mono pretty much one of the only people still up, but how much can you actually do in 10 seconds? We're going to see a few people trickle back in, but they need to just sit on point now. They always have to have somebody here for the extra time.
They gotta drop down, they gotta touch it at least for a brief moment. Chaotic is in there, Chaotic is there, but is the space available? Nostalgia with a well-timed Moonbeam Butterfly to just slap them all away. They hold. Last second, do hold. IQ cannot get to that 25% point to win the round. It's gonna be a draw, and we are going to no overtime. Is there no overtime?
No, so yes, there's no overtime in this particular custom game mode. What we do here is a very strange but cool thing that we're going to get to see. So we go to a tiebreaker map, a tiebreaker domination map that just decides that particular game. It's going to be Lunar Space Colony as far as, we just got confirmation that 100% we're going to Lunar Command Center. Oh my gosh, too many words that are all the same letters. The Lunar Command Center. No, Lunar Space Colony. I'm right? Lunar Space Colony? What? Lunar. We're going to Lunar. We're just going to pretend that I know the full name of that map and I'm not just mumbling it right now and getting confused. But that is a domination map that is not on the regular map pool. There is no possibility of a draw, of course, on domination. So we are going to be setting up a tiebreaker game. That's really the only way to put it. So currently, of course, we are still at a 1-0 in the set, and that will decide whether it ends up as 2-1 or 1-1.
Okay, I think we're going to have to go to a quick break where we get that set up. It won't be too long, though, so don't go anywhere. We have the conclusion of map number 2 coming up just after this.
And welcome back, everybody.
Oh,
it is time for the welcome back. It's time for the tiebreaker here as we go into technically the second map, right? It is technically the decider for the second map here in our losers finals match, but that does mean that it is our third map because it was a draw on Flak Fort. So just again, to reiterate for anybody who isn't aware of how this works, there is the ability to draw only if you get to the exact same amount of time and both fail to basically you both get to the exact same point in the map on your offensive sides, and that's exactly what we saw. So there can be no draws on domination, so we're going to Lunar Comm Station, which is the name of the map. I finally got it correct.
Okay, so this is my first time experiencing this. Maybe you can help me walk through this. Is it going to be the entire Lunacom map or just the first of the 3 in that map set?
The entire thing. So we're basically getting a full extra game on a map that's not usually in the actual map pool. So that's really cool to see. We've seen some pretty dominant matches here. We've only seen, I want to say like 3 of these, or maybe even 2 of these over the past like 5 different events. So we'll see which of these teams is ready to play on a map like this. Now, Lunar Comm Station just in general is a very unique domination map because it is not, well, I guess you could say like symmetrical horizontally, right? Like it's not like you spawn here and then you've got A, B, C.
Oh, yeah.
You both spawn here and then you've got A, B, C. That is the worst description ever. Exactly.
Yeah.
Makes sense. It's in space.
Or something else that looks not unlike a rocket ship.
Whoa. A core
Submarine.
fighter. Core fighter, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is, of course, going to be one of the first domination maps that we've played as well. For some reason, we've just barely been on domination at all this entire tournament.
Well, it doesn't help that there's only 2 of 7. Of the 7 maps that we have, only 2 of them are domination. Destruction and point capture are very, very similar, so it's really easy to sort of conflate. Like, if you're good at one, you should be relatively good at another. Domination is completely different. So I think if you're a team that just doesn't really like domination, it's super easy just to continue to ban it out. That's my guess of why that's the case.
Yeah, I agree. I think that a lot of the time the teams that are confident that they're just in general that their mechanical skill, just as far as aiming and just individual fights, they tend to go to domination a little bit more when they're against another team that they feel like they just outclass, because you can very easily just win little brawls. But now that all these teams are getting stronger and stronger, it looks like we're getting a little bit less towards that. So it does look like we're getting into the map, and we'll see how this plays out between Last Second and IQ.
I think domination, I imagine, probably can favor melee units even more as well, just because of the constant 1v1 fights, and it's all about maintaining an advantage. Red Protocol, though, opening up the really good knock onto Blue Jay. But I was also going to say, perfect unit to watch, Nostalgia. This is also when he really needs to come up and try and make up that damage disparity that you constantly see him between his opposing mid-range carry on the opposite side of Amano.
Oh yeah, already 2 players down on the side of IQ. That's going to mean Last Second is going to hold point A, of course, the closest point. And this is the one where the brawls are quick and constant, I think you could say, as the spawns are very, very close to A. And then, of course, as it gets further away, the run backs get much, much longer.
Nostalgia there. He gets another kill onto Chaotic. So Last Second are holding onto this site strong, hitting up to 20%. Nostalgia does go down. Sarah's trying to make a solid push in with Invictus not too far behind, but the high ground presence you can see from the units on the side of Last Second is going to be a lot more than I think IQ are able to push through at the moment. Good firebomb to try and open something up, but again, it's still just Blue charging the points.
Holding this high ground is so important. This is going to be a retake. Very, very nice, but only 10 seconds left. And C is a hugely important point. It is the hardest point to retake in maybe any domination mission. So the teams tend to run away from their points to go to C, get this high ground before they get their full points, because this is going to be so important to preemptively be here.
Yeah, no value fighting for the last few seconds remaining on that initial site. Last Second preparing to take over C. There's a punch at the ready for Mr. Big Large. Red Protocol is a bit far behind on that G maneuver charge, it looks. Morel takes a lot of damage, trying to find the angle, and the site is about to unlock. Amano pushing on in. That's a punch at the ready. That takes Red Protocol out. And Morel also gets removed. Our robot does find a knock and then a revive as well to try and equalize the unit standing, but it's still going to be IQ with the site take. Red Protocol's trying to make things hard. Punch is going to knock everyone out. Is that going to be space created for Nostalgia to come on in and deal even more damage?
It looks like that is the case. Nostalgia, even in kind of a tough position, managing to get a ton of damage and finally going down. Red is going to retake. There's still a good amount of time on C as well. And it seems like Red, I'm just calling them Red, straight up. IQ has been able to get pretty close to tying up here. They're allowing the retake a few times. Oh, but the Screaming Nimbus is going to get a lot of extra free points basically for last second.
Good stall maneuver, good stall tactic, do some extra damage as well. And they're continuing to pull ahead. Last second, Amano is getting isolated. Not going to pop the Hades just yet. It's not very useful at this time, but A is being unlocked once again, or at least being reset a couple of seconds before it unlocks. But the damage is coming out. Chaotic finds a kill. Amano is here to continue to push Last Second away from that high ground that was so successful in the previous A take.
Merle using that Screaming Nimbus means that this might be a little bit harder to take. They got some free points, definitely on C, but this could be, looks like some pretty good positioning from the side of IQ this time around. Amano really wants to get to that high ground and wasn't able to find it. Oh, Chaotic has a little box full of mobile suits to be able to just slap if they can manage to get back in.
He has the alias system at the ready. You know he is wanting to activate that. IQ mounting up the push. Yes, it is. The alias system is activating. You can see the dashes in the air and then the beam magnum as well from the Unicorn Gundam. But it's still being IQ holding on to the site. They're contesting it strong in Hades. Amano with the damage as you would expect. Red Protocol is forced to fly away.
Oh, yeah, just getting out of there. Great stuff, as expected from Amano. And look at this. Look how quickly they're rotating over. There is 20 seconds left on the point, and they are already going over to point C. Both teams, actually. Nobody's even just going to get the little quick pickup on A before they run over because they know how important it is to be the first one there. And we are so close to tied up here. 8%, 9% difference. Whoever takes this point could win it here.
They're fighting for it before the point has even been designated, much less unlocked. But IQ, they are using the damage to get the space. There is a heavy G maneuver resource advantage for Last Second, however. So space advantage for IQ. Can they hold on to it? We're looking at 4 G maneuvers ready for Last Second. They are absolutely going to be using it on this push. They don't want to give IQ the opportunity to win, much less get to like 95%.
Yeah, this is... Oh, the butterfly coming in, but just immediately taken down with the G maneuver from the Barbados. Beautiful sniped out of the sky.
Snipe, that was a sword that did it, but eliminated nonetheless. But Gasman and iRobot are still showing up, following up from the little bit of space that was potentially created from the Moonbeam Butterfly. But I say that Mr. Big Large and Blue Jay are coming up huge and making sure that Last Second cannot control this site. IQ with charging up the points, 88%, about to hit 90, and 30 seconds remaining. Nox needs to come in big, but immediately spawn, immediately knocked to the ground, and immediately knocked back to the lobby.
Oh, yeah, now this is tough. Somebody needs to get on point or this is going to be the round. And I don't even know if anybody can fully get there. The extra time has been activated. Red Protocol is going to go down for it, though. Nostalgia as well. Almost everybody going down on the side of Last Second, and that hold was just too strong by IQ. Being able to get the turn A out of the air like that was just so important at stopping that push, getting the stagger, getting that removal of all that extra damage. And hey, you know what? I still think it was a snipe. It's just the projectile was Barbados.
Yeah, I was really excited to see that Moonbeam Butterfly come into play. But the amount of space needed from that window into the back line where IQ were all holding, I think it would have been more successful if there was a different unit to try and engage initially, or maybe the turn A could have attempted to sneak around the side and come in from an unexpected angle. Obviously, easier said than done. We are just sitting comfortably in our own chairs, on our own desks. These are the players that are actually doing it.
I do fully agree, though. It needs to be some sort of eyes on something else first. And I do get the idea that you're like, okay, you know, there's not that much distance. You know, there's like, it's like 2 full seconds of walking or flying, I guess you could say, onto the point. But, you know, against a team like IQ, that 2 full seconds is more than enough to focus down one mobile suit.
Yeah, do not underestimate the time to kill in this game. But it looks like on round number 2, C is going to be the first site, and everyone is just trying to get there as quickly as possible. It should be equal timing. At the moment, it should be who gets the first kill, and suddenly up on the elevator, well, Nox gets a welcome gift as with his team gets a couple of kills.
This is, again, I mean, we've seen C so many times so far. We haven't seen B at all, but being able to hold this high ground, as Last Second is doing, is going to give them a really nice advantage here. This is their last chance. You know, they're down a game in losers finals. They're down a round on this tiebreaker map, so they need to just 100% find their spot, and they seem to have, at least for this first point, and it's going to go, once again, back to A after this.
Nox, yeah, really good zoning opportunities, allowing the DPS to do the brunt of the damage there, and they're able to hold onto this site for now. I think IQ might just start to prepare for A. Gonna do some chip damage, I imagine, but trying to do a full frontal assault onto this site could just be a waste of time, and honestly could stagger them enough in terms of their own respawn when they go down that they're going to be losing out on A as well. And so yes, looks like Last Second are also recognizing that, and they're getting ready to fight for A.
Oh, but we've already got most of Team IQ on the high ground up there above A, and they're taking advantage of that very, very well. They're going to take down 4 different suits at least. Gasman just trying to escape, getting the health pack, getting back to spawn, which is not that far away, but this is going to at least most likely be a starting defensive position for IQ.
Ooh, Mono taking low, has to back away a little bit, can't overcommit. Assaultr looking for the shots on the turn A Gundam, but gets flamed out of position as well. High ground held for IQ. But Red Protocol is trying to sneak up from the side, trying to get some different angle, following up with the Alia system from the Barbatos. Gasman gets chewed, does get taken out by Mr. Big Large, but the follow-up from the team is going big, going strong. Last Second do reclaim the site. With a minute remaining, they could hold on to this and charge up even more percentage points.
Yeah, maximum of 93% if they manage to hold on here. But with 0% on the side of IQ, this is looking really strong for Last Second. Once again, this is the last second of their potential tournament life, so maybe that's just when they get that power up. The punch comes out, though, right in one window, right out the other. Mr. Bigelar's probably going to get picked up here, but in the end, that was at least a few members no longer on that high ground with full HP.
Being taken out. Red Protocol down very, very low. Has the punch at the ready, but gets surrounded by too many units. And IQ do reclaim the site, but they're not going to have that much time to charge up the points. But hey, it's something. At the very least, it keeps Last Second from getting any more points off of this before we finally go to B.
Yeah, a little bit more, I guess you could say, leeway as far as being able to retake B if they ever need to. And hey, this round could end on B, which we finally are seeing for the first time in this actual map. B, a much more wide open space, is not going to be the brawls of C or A where the high ground matters the most. It's going to be all about who can control this sort of center stage and stop people from sniping from their respective sides.
Nox taken very, very low is going to get removed by Chaotic. Red Protocol also with the good shots at range. Takes a lot of damage in return, but has the punch at the ready. Red Protocol does go down. So this is going to give an advantage for IQ. Chaotic jumps high, jumps far. Doesn't really get much damage, but it at least zones them away in order for IQ to take the site.
Chaotic's like, whoops, nope, never mind, I'm leaving. But here we go, 24% building up to a maximum of 63%. Oh, the butterfly coming out so high above, I don't think anybody can even see it. Nostalgia's only gonna get 1 full pick with it though. That is not the mileage that you want out of a G maneuver like that. Oh, you cannot grab somebody out of the Screaming Nimbus. It might have stopped the CC, prevent a little bit of the damage, but this Screaming Nimbus is putting in work.
But still, Last Second still have the site. Invictus hasn't been able to reclaim it just yet. They got to get on IQ if they want to take this 2-0. Saris is here in position, but the counter Screaming Nimbus from Last Second is zoning everyone away. Extra time is running down, but it is going to get reclaimed.
Oh, and with time out, this is guaranteed to be the last spot. Nobody's on site. Nobody's close enough. We saw just a little bit too much range to be able to make it back in after that death, and we are going to go to a final round here in this tiebreaker. If we see Last Second win this last round, they will go to a third map, or kind of a fourth map, but a set 3 map. And then if IQ wins here, they will be the ones that will make it back into the grand finals.
Red Protocol and Moro, again, top of the damage charts for last second. And of course, Mr. Big Large going large, 39k, amazing numbers. And Amano Invictus, of course, also putting in heavy work on their own side.
Sheesh, can we see the 50k? That would be pretty impressive. I think there's probably a good chance, but the verticality of this stage makes the flyers so good. Yeah. And the fact that there are so many tight little choke points, as usual, means that the napalm grenade is going to get all that extra damage. So we see a lot of Ashamars doing very well here. And between Red Protocol and Mr. Big Large, we're seeing some of the best Ashamars in basically the entire league. So this is a really heavy clash. There's a good reason why we're seeing this be or round 3 in this tiebreaker map.
Yeah, they definitely had a lot to do with that. Why these teams are so neck and neck. Round 3 starts. This is for all the Morables. If IQ take this, they are going to take map number 2 and advance to the grand finals. If Last Second win this, we go to map 3 here. But trades. Both flying units immediately taken out.
I'm like, they're the best that we've got, and they immediately die within 5 seconds of leaving the game. But you know what? It is what it is, and that means that we're kind of even fighting for this B spot. They should be able to get back quickly, particularly Flyers can get back to B faster than pretty much any other unit in the game, or at least vertical movement units. And we are going to see, once again, the duel between the Barbados is going the way of Gasman, as Gasman gets even another pick before going down.
Robot swinging on in with the dual pistols, with the akimbo. And it's going to be Last Second taking site number B from the sky. Mr. Big Large is trying to deal some damage, but takes some in return and is forced to fall away. And you really just want to wait for the rest of your squad to follow up behind you in order to really mount a huge push.
And right now, there's not many people on the side of IQ that are available to actually push this. There's only 20 seconds left. Even if they get another push, it might go down to about 5 seconds. We might see them just start to reposition to A. No, actually, they are going to contest this as the time starts to run out. Well, even Last Second themselves are moving over to A already.
Yeah, it was good that they can get that kill. They're just trying to deal some damage to make the take on A that much easier for IQ. Mr. Big Large being a nuisance, as he is wont to do. High ground held by IQ. But Last Second are immediately here trying to take the low ground punch at the ready for Mr. Big Large, and he is waiting for a flank. He has his finger right over the trigger of that G maneuver. Red Protocol is getting isolated onto the side. One more shot, but the reload had to come on in, so he's not going to be taken care of just yet.
Chase all the way over the building. A great place to fall down. We'll see if Mr. Big Large decides to go over and continue that hunt. But right now, it's Barbados against Barbados. We're seeing so many duels. This time, Chaotic comes out on top with the help of some of their teammates. And that means that we are going to have, it seems like, I don't know. Actually, I don't even know who has the advantage here. This is just a brawl at A, as it tends to be.
Yeah, no one's taking it just yet. We have 50 seconds left where it goes back to B. Big Large is still a nuisance on the side, still has his punch at the ready. But it looks like IQ has presence onto the site. Have yet to take it.
We might see nobody take this. Okay, finally, IQ, they're going to get up their first points of the entire map. There's still 30 seconds left, and this is a really hard one to retake just because the spawns are very quick. You need to get basically a full team wipe and stop anybody from running on. You can actually see that they're pretty close on the side of Last Second here, but we're going to see the energy cable on the Sazabi, which is a pretty, I'd say, unique choice, but it's working out.
Listen, as high pressure, as huggy of a map as the Domination is, you just got to use it on whatever unit is available. You cannot hold out for a concentrated, coordinated push with another G maneuver. You just got to activate it. But 29 points, not that far behind, around 15% behind Last Second. We're going back to B.
All right, yeah, you know, the map was like, we don't want to see B at all, and now we want to see B every other time, and this high ground dom is going to be huge. You can see both of the high ground doms. No, you're going to try to snipe the Ashamar out of the air with a rocket? We've seen that from Casino. That's the ultimate flex, but we've got Last Second definitely controlling this point as it unlocks.
Yeah, and Nostalgia has the Moonbeam Butterfly at the ready, itching to activate that if IQ try and get a little too antsy with this push. Multiple G maneuvers on both sides, about 4 apiece, but Saris needs to still respawn on the side of IQ. There's time. They've only just hit above 50% charge for Last Second.
And maybe even more importantly, it is going to C after this, so the winner of B is already going to be very close to C. They don't have to take that much of an early transition over, and you can actually see most of this fight's happening on C already. There's 30 seconds left, y'all, but it actually is great high ground positioning to fight for B as well.
Okay. pushing Last Second away. They're going to give them all the charge from B. That's going to make it a do or die moment for IQ. Because it means that if Last Second takes C, it's going to be basically the round over. Because of, as you say, how difficult C is to reclaim.
Right, they are now going to be at 90% after this, so they don't even need to take it for that long, right? They just need to take it for a short amount of time. They're going to regroup. It looks like they're going to maybe split push through a few different angles, but Mr. Big Large is going to be harassing and saying, okay, I'm going to see where you are. I'm going to stop you from just getting in for free. Invictus holding this high ground with the Screaming Nimbus. This might be a great time for it pretty soon.
10 seconds for C to unlock, and IQ have the superior positioning here, but you can tell Last Second they are not sweating at all. They are getting themselves ready for the perfect push onto the zone. A bunch of G maneuvers, and Merle is going to pull the trigger on his Screaming Nimbus. Screaming Nimbus is going to be answered back on the opposite side of things, and IQ just can't quite claim the zone just yet. Big Large is taken down very low, forced to fall away. That's a huge player taken out of the round 4 now. And Merle is getting some damage. Chaotic is trying to answer back, being an annoying Barbatos onto the site, but he's getting zoned away. Has to try and find the health point, but it has been taken right under his nose. That doesn't matter. He is going to get the kill anyway.
There's like a health pack, and then you run into the death pack, which is that Barbados just sitting right there, and this is great to be able to hold this, but we're not at enough time here where the well, no, we are at the time where this is going to end guaranteed on C. So this is huge. This could be a huge comeback. There's only 10 seconds left in the map, so this needs to be, I mean, there's maybe 1 or 2 good pushes left on the side of Last Second. Otherwise, this could be their tournament life. This is a great advantageous position. Even though there's like a 40% lead for the side of LS, they are in a tough spot, and there's the first G maneuver.
The assist from Gasman doesn't really find anything, but he is able to find Chaos in the end with the help of Nox, and Invictus here with the bombs at the ready, and that's it. The battle is over. We have victory. It's been reclaimed. The site has been removed. Last Second come out on top, 2-1 victory, and we are going to a map number 3, which is going to be another domination map.
Wow, that was so close at the end. I really cannot explain how ridiculously close that was. I mean, we've seen so many times where C has just literally never been retaken. We've seen times where it has been basically like 99% to 0%, and the final zone is C. The 0% team takes it, and they just hold it that entire time because the runbacks are tough. The choke points you have to put yourself into offensively are so tough, and so amazing stuff for Last Second to tie things up as usual in the last second and take us to a map number 3, quote unquote, right?
I'm counting it as map number 3, but listen, I think what it just goes to show why we're talking about Mr. Big Large all that much, because even though IQ lost that map, Mr. Big Large was the MVP in the game. That just shows how impactful he is as a player for his squad, and he's gonna, I imagine, continue to be a major factor as we go into our next map.
Right, I believe it is Mountain R&D, which actually is infamously a very hard map to deal with Ashamar on, and that's where we actually have seen Mr. Big Large do some of the most work that we ever have before. So hopefully we get a good chance to see some more of that showing off, and I think there's a good chance we will. But before that, we have to go to one more short break to get the players all in the lobby. So the deciding game of the losers finals will be right after this break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
It's do or die. Mountain R&D Lab is going to be the final stand between IQ and Last Second. Whoever wins this goes on to the grand final to take on Mafty Did Nothing Wrong. Whoever loses has to go home until event number 3. My name is Cameron Davis, and I'm joined by Wonder Chef, and this is For All the Marbles.
Right, we even saw a tiebreaker that went down to a tiebreaker round. This is gotta be the closest set that we've seen maybe in any of these broadcasts, and I would not be surprised to see it go to a third round on the second domination map, technically, of this set. But so much of this map, Mount R&D, comes down to the Ashmars, to the Doms. A lot of the splash damage and controlling the high ground means everything.
So I'm going to be looking at Mr. Big, Large, and Red Protocol specifically. Red Protocol immediately at the ready, but it looks like Last Second is taking control of the high ground just a second before IQ could get there to compete. Gasman is very aggressive, trying to get a couple of stuns, and he's not dead just yet. It's actually going to be Chaotic who goes down first, and so initial positioning is going to go in the favor of Last Second.
Zero fear, and gonna be able to at least check the Sazabi a little bit, but most importantly, this is going to very much be a strong position to take the first point on C for Last Second.
Big Large answering back from the side, getting some good shots on a cheeky little angle, but nothing gonna stick too hard. Really, he just wants to stay alive right now and wait for the rest of the team to make the big moves, and then he'll follow up. Taking out a 42 HP. A couple of good kills for IQ, but they have yet to claim the site. And he's going to go over to A in 30 seconds, so there comes a time they need to make the decision of do we continue to fight for C or set up for A.
And this site in particular is so important because C to A is just a short jump over, but oh my gosh, you can see Chaotic just get the dunk. The POV from the ground is always the saddest thing, but that's a great pick, of course, and then kind of getting traded back. But again, the most important thing here is controlling this high ground. You can see here that Mr. Big Large is already up on the high ground. I'm assuming Saris is going to be jumping over relatively soon. And look at this, from C to A, 2 seconds, boom, you're already controlling A. That is the beauty of this map and what makes it so difficult to play well in.
Chaotic tries to find an opening, Nox does a quick little step away, but Red Protocol pushing forward. He has the punch. He's going to create some space, does some heavy damage. Able to kill, but immediately traded back. The rest of the team from Last Second doesn't seem to be there, and Saris actually comes up from the depths of hell to commit even further into this fight. IQ looked like they're in a position to take A once it unlocks.
Oh, that Amano Hades is probably going to guarantee it. We've seen the Amano Hades take out so many players, and this is not going to be an exception. 4 members down, just Amano alone. Well, I mean, of course, there was help from everybody else, but just as far as the kill feed goes, that is going to be for sure taken first. And being able to retake is very difficult. Now, once we go to B, which is going to be next, the story's different. But right now, this is still going to be a great position. You're always at the high ground all the time if you're at the high ground for any point.
Good damage continuing to come out from Amano, no fear. But our robot has the beam magnum at the ready. They're going to be swinging out from the opposite side. Again, the high ground as the main point of contention. In a few seconds, though, we're going to be going below ground. And even though there's a window, there's a sky window you can see at the top, it doesn't get you that good of angles. So we're going to have to see multiple members commit underground to fight for B.
This Gundam Unicorn G maneuver, though, is huge, actually. Usually you use it inside at B, but Blue Jay currently getting a lot of mileage out of it from the high ground, but you can see this is exactly the size of the beams. These hallways are exactly fit for that G maneuver.
And immediately, in the blink of an eye, IQ, again, retain control here, and they're ready to take B once it unlocks.
And that should be relatively soon. We're going to see a little bit of a regroup on the side of Last Second. They're going to be pushing from a very unique angle, and immediately Merle popping that Screaming Nimbus is going to chunk a lot of the enemy team. Amano just trying to get away, but it looks like on the other side there was a really great counter G maneuver from Saris using those funnels, and that is going to be most of the side of Last Second completely gone, despite the ability to follow up after the Screaming Nimbus.
Yeah, I saw the Screaming Nimbus. I'm like, oh, it's going to be a bunch of blue in the kill feed. And the blue was there, but just, you know, on the more unexpected side. Because, yeah, Saris with the funnels, with that big, tanky Sazabi unit, keeping control in the side of IQ. And it's getting dangerously close to victory right now on round number 1 here at Mountain R&D Center. 80%. It's going to change to A in just a few seconds. But Last Second already preparing to take over that. They're just going to leave B.
I could be seeing it wrong, but it looks like they get a maximum of 99%. So luckily, they can't just end it there. Well, luckily for Last Second. But we are already going to see IQ rotating over. They've got to fight for this high ground. They're fighting as at least 5 or 6 in a row, but that just means you're much better at being targeted by all these AoE damages, and that's what happens.
Oh, Nostalgia just barely staying alive. They have the Moonbeam Butterfly at the ready. That is going to be a crucial ability to use on this site, but the fact that they're all being pushed away close to their spawn shows that, again, they're remaining on the back foot when it comes onto this fight with IQ.
A robot holding onto this G maneuver. Oh my gosh, again being hit out of the air by the Barbados G maneuver. That is so sick. I can't believe that's like an actual intended counter. It worked perfectly, completely shut down the butterfly, and then it's going to be IQ now taking down almost the entire team of Last Second off the back of that counterplay.
Aya system, and then followed up by Amano's Hades. Ridiculous play. Great coordinated play, and IQ take round number 1.
My gosh, that is so instant. What a cool counter. That is super sick. I've actually never seen that before, ever. I am in love with that. And we've seen it twice. It's not just a coordinated, or I should say a coincidental timing. It is actually a coordinated timing, which is so sick. And that means that IQ now just needs one more round again to make it into the grand finals.
Let's look at these damage numbers. Red Protocol there. As you said, the Ashamar. And Mr. Big Large as well. Unsurprisingly. Amano's good numbers as well. And it really is just the DPS taking care of everything.
Yeah, nothing too out of the ordinary here. I do feel like, as expected, this is a very close match. So the damage numbers are relatively close. They're a little bit heavier on like particular members of particular teams, but there's not going to be like, oh, I'm doing 40,000 damage and the rest of the team is doing 20,000 damage. This is just going to be one of those close ones. The damage is spread pretty evenly. A lot of this map comes down to team fights, which is exactly what we've seen. And they just need to be the ones who aim better, focus better, position better in those team fights. Sounds like an obvious thing to say, but it's especially true here.
There's a point that you have to consider: is the turn A Gundam pick over the Pale Rider actually effective? Because Nostalgia's been sticking onto that pick this entire matchup in replace of Batty on the roster for today at least, and just hasn't really been as effective. But hey, Nostalgia got a kill on a Blue Jay now, so this could be the opening that they were looking for with that unit to try and take B, which is the first site of this round.
Oh yeah, Nostalgia having to back up, just get a little bit of health with the nanos down, so not gonna be able to get that extra little personal healing. And nobody's quite taking it. As I say that, immediately we see Last Second take it, but the Gas Man is gonna help hold on to that lead. Nostalgia as well, taking out Invictus at the same time, but we're still seeing a brawl in the middle of the site, despite the fact that neither team has full members there.
Ooh, Nox taken very, very low. Has a little bit of shield to use to keep themselves alive. But they needed to try and back away just for a quick second. They have still control of B. No real threat of it being taken just yet. So it looks like they're probably going to be able to get up to that 40% marker that you can see onto the side, because Red Protocol is continuing to deal the damage. Karate gets taken out, doesn't get a stun with that longsword. And yeah, it's going to be a back away from IQ, surely.
Ooh, but Amano holding the high ground already, preemptively moving up, catches Red Protocol, and I don't want to say out of position, but catches him alone, which is going to mean that that's immediately a pick and immediately a huge advantage on this high ground as C begins to open up.
Good damage coming out from Amano as expected.
Ooh, and Merle, once Merle gets to this high ground, that's going to be huge. Just being able to splash damage onto the other side, it's a great way to break the high ground, but realizing that they are kind of alone compared to the rest of their team, for sure, I think backing up was a smart play there.
It just finds Red Protocol. That's the Ashmore taken out. This could be good for IQ to gain control of C, because it is just about to unlock. Protocol is back in spawned and does have their own punch at the ready, as does Mr. Big Large.
Oh, Gasman trying to sneak around underneath, but getting caught out by Mr. Big Large, saying, okay, no, you're not going to just jump up here and get the one shot, but the punch! And it's a great punch that's going to at least displace most of the team. We'll see how much of a follow-up there can be. Saris goes down, Invictus goes down. There are some counter picks, though. That wasn't the full huge punch that we needed to see, maybe. Red Protocol getting the health pack, still going down, though. That Amano Hades doing too much damage.
Hey, the Red Protocol dropped the Hades away from the site itself. Nonetheless, IQ still remained with control of it. Gasman trying to push forward, trying to take this fight. Longsword misses. Really good spacing by Amano, but is eventually going to get cornered, eventually going to fall down. Are more members of IQ here in position? No, it's going to be last second with a last second claim of C to get those few extra points and try and catch up.
Gasman sitting there like, I have 300 life. Do I attack here? Do I attack? The health pack isn't up, and then manages to survive and assist with that kill. So super good stuff. Gasman's been very slippery throughout all of today, making the correct choices. And honestly, that was confident. It was just a funny situation. Oh, this is a tough spot. You see how their choke pointed down there? Oh, but the duel.
Yeah, Longsword v Longsword, both of them dive past each other, and Invictus here on the high ground uses the Screaming Nimbus to push forward and get the space ready for IQ to follow up. They have pushed last second off the high ground. Invictus is still alive. No, he does fall in the end, but Saris is here to overtake that space, overtake that pressure.
Oh, and it looks like a good spot for IQ. They're just going to continue to hold on to this. They cannot win. Again, they're going to be very close if they hold on to C completely, or sorry, A completely, but they do move over to C. So once again, an A win here might lead to a C win immediately, just moving from high ground to high ground.
Saris has the funnels ready. The G maneuver is an option, but there's a lot of G maneuvers across the board. Saris pops the funnels and does Moonbeam Butterfly, but Nostalgia again gets taken out from the Alias system.
Again, that is my favorite play of today. That is such a great counter. I'm just in love with that completely. But so many members falling on both sides. I don't even know who truly is in position here for C, for the high ground. It looks like at least Amano is going to be the one above. Hades has been popped. Can we get the pick?
Oh, good spacing, dodges the slam. Able to take out Gasman, but it is going to be a G maneuver usage just for seemingly one unit. It's a minute remaining in the round. If IQ can grab C, it should be a pretty easy finish to this entire match, though. Potentially the use of Hades for one unit could be useful, but Gasman is already up and running around. It's just the positioning that IQ is currently favored in.
And they need to make a push in right here, or this is going to be initial take. But Nostalgia already getting so low, managing to stay alive, at least distract. Merle is going to get the Screaming Nimbus on a huge chunk of the enemy team. We're going to see Gasman follow it up with their own G maneuver. This is going to be a really nice counter take. Again, though, they cannot win here. There's not enough time, I believe. Oh, no, wait, this will be the end of C. C can be the final spot, so they need to hold their defensive positioning and just never let it go, and we could go to a third round.
Expand spots. Member of IQ, but doesn't commit onto it. That's another punch used up. That's going to be space created for the rest of IQ to follow up there on the high ground, but Nox and Red Protocol are getting the kills in return.
Oh, they need to retake this. They got it pretty solidly. Yeah, like you said, they built them a little bit of extra time, but that was only about 3%, and they needed just 10%. Oh, and Invictus now having to fight from the low ground in the Dom duel is always one of the hardest things to do. You just have so much less leeway. Oh, but here we go. We're in extra time. This is going to end here, guaranteed. We are about 10% away from each other, and right now it looks like Last Second is just controlling everything. I don't know if there's enough time for IQ to make it back and extend this time.
Spawn isn't far, but they need to wait for the timing. What Mr. Big Lord's going down is absolutely huge. There is no time to wait for the Ashamar to respawn. And Gasman is making sure the Chaotic cannot find the opening for the rest of IQ to try and attack. It's contested onto the site itself. We're down to the last second, but Invictus with the Screaming Nimbus. This could be the opening that IQ need. Nox gets a kill though, but Mr. Big Large, who is back into the fight, is dealing the damage.
Oh, IQ retakes!
Can they retake the site? They push them away, and IQ, at the last second, they reclaim this zone, and it's going to be a 2-0 victory for a 2-1 match overall scoreline. IQ are advancing to the grand finals.
What a game. What a game. That was down to the final moment. That was unbelievable. Great play to be able to retake that from both teams so many different times. Nobody was allowing the other team to just hold the defensive high position and then just control the entire game. That was a great set overall. Not only did we get to go to the third map of the set, but we got the tiebreaker map as well. And I'm glad that between two teams, we got to see it between these two teams, because this was, in my opinion, probably the set of the weekend for me.
Yeah, we'll see what the grand final has available for us, but Mafty, they have been relaxing and waiting for this next moment. This was a brutal test of endurance for both of these teams. So IQ, they're going to be happy that they advance, but they need to try and reset themselves, get a drink of water, stretch those legs, but keep that energy up.
Yeah, I mean, they've been fighting so hard. They fought so hard in technically a 4-game set, right?
Yeah.
Just to be able to break that tiebreaker. They fought tooth and nail. And this entire time, Matthew's sitting there like, ooh, that's a good match. That's fun. You know, they're chilling. They're just like, they're chilling the winner's side. Everything is just so good for them. So it's going to be all about the momentum versus just being able to chill, right?
Yeah, man, the Alia system using to counter out Moonbeam Butterfly, we're going to take that, just as we are going to be taking you guys to a break as we get ready for the grand final. If it is anything close to what we just saw, it is going to be a great match. We have the final best of 5 of this weekend of event number 2 coming up just after this.